Hey guys and girls, in this video I'm going to be servicing my Paslode gas guns. I use these tools for my construction business, and like many other tools they require regular maintenance. To complete this service I'll be using a wash tray, rags, Paslode degreaser, Paslode lubricating oil, water displacement 40, a 4 and 3.5mm Allen key, or roughly in inches a 5/32 and a 9/64 Allen key. This is a Impulse Trimmaster. It uses lithium-ion batteries and drives 16 or 14 gauge straight brads. This is a Impulse Framemaster. It uses lithium-ion batteries and drives 30-degree framing nails of various sizes. Both tools shoot projectiles, so disable them by removing the battery and fuel cell before working on them. I start by removing the 4 Allen key screws in the cylinder head cap, as well as 2 more near the fuel door. Once the spark plug and fan circuit wire are disconnected, I remove the cylinder head while taking care not to damage the fan blades. You can see the carbon buildup and grease on the bottom of the cylinder head, top of piston and inside of cylinder. I then release the magazine tension and remove the quick release nose plate. I push the piston to the bottom of its stroke and begin cleaning the cylinder with the degreaser and a rag. While cleaning the cylinder, I cycle the piston by pushing it down with a fuel cell, then I push the driver blade back up with an Allen key. Now I degrease and clean the cylinder head rings, spark plug and fan. Once it is dry, I apply lubricating oil to 3 positions inside the cylinder, then spread throughout with my finger. Cycling the piston between the top and bottom of its stroke will spread the oil evenly around the cylinder and onto the piston ring. With the piston at the top of the cylinder, I then refit the nose plate. The fan is a moving part, so I lubricate its shaft, then move on to the cylinder head rings. I place oil in 3 positions, then rotate them to coat them evenly. It's crucial the gaps in the rings are on opposite sides of the cylinder head. If they line up, this can cause a compression leak. I carefully reinstall the cylinder head, then reconnect the fan circuit and spark plug wires, making sure the wires are run neatly and don't get pinched by the cap or damaged by the Allen key screws. I tighten the screws in opposing pairs, not a clockwise order, as this applies even tension across the cap and cylinder head. I tighten them firmly, but I'm careful not to over tighten, then I take care of the fuel door screws. I replace the battery and fuel cell, then put the brada aside for the final steps of the service. Next, I move on to the framer, and the process is similar, starting with the same 6 Allen key screws. Paslode recommends you remove the cylinder housing, but I find it easier to carefully remove the cylinder head, which gives me better access for cleaning and lubricating with less screws removed. The fan circuit and spark plug wires are left connected, and I support the cylinder head while inspecting for carbon and grease buildup. Releasing the magazine tension allows me to cycle the piston using a fuel cell and an Allen key to push the driver blade back. With the piston at the bottom of its stroke, I clean the cylinder with degreaser and a rag. Cycling the piston while degreasing helps remove the grease and carbon buildup. Now I clean the cylinder head rings, spark plug and fan. With the cylinder dry, I apply the lubricating oil, then with my finger I spread it around the cylinder. Cycling the piston coats the cylinder and piston ring evenly in oil. I lubricate the fan shaft and cylinder head rings, then rotate them to cover them evenly in oil. I position the gaps in the rings 180 degrees from each other to prevent a loss in compression. With the piston at the top of the cylinder, I reinstall the cylinder head while being careful not to damage the fan blades. I check the fan circuit and spark plug wires and run them neatly so they are not pinched by the cap or damaged by the Allen key screws. I tighten the screws firmly in opposing pairs, creating even tension across the cap and cylinder head. The fuel cell door screws are tightened, then I replace the battery and fuel cell. Next I remove the Trimmaster grill and air filter and clean with degreaser. Now I remove the Framemaster grill and air filter, then clean with degreaser. Once the air filters are dry, I reinstall them and snap the grills into place. Now I lubricate the magazine of this brudder with this WD-40 and wipe the excess off with a rag. I repeat the process and lubricate the magazine of the framer. Finally, I test fire the tools to check they are functioning correctly. The service is complete with both tools in working order. The Paslode framer and fix-out gun are now back in my trailer ready for work. Leave a comment if you'd like to see me service any specific tools. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you later.